the Stick Boys Tech Hovel, and today I was looking for some AAA batteries for my everyday carry flashlight, and I found upon these in Amazon, these EBL 1100 milliamp AAA batteries. So I figured, what the hell, they're a really good price. I got a kit with it these were about 22 bucks with the carrying case just by themselves. So what I did is, for another 5 bucks, it included this little sort of charger that we'll take a look at and do some tests on. And we're going to see if these actually hold up, because if these can get at least as close to Eneloops, which are 950 milliamp batteries, I'll be pretty happy, because they're about triple what these cost. All right, let's do some tests. Okay, here's the EBL AAA battery kit in all its glory, including the optional charger. Let's take a look at the manual. And basically, you can charge all these channels are independent. So you could have 1, 2, 1 and 4, 3 and 2. It doesn't matter. They're not paired or anything like that, which I like. At least you can charge literally one battery in this thing, which is nice. I'm gonna put this up and see if we can get it in focus there. Okay, we have 5 volt at 1 amp input. So that'll run on any USB going back to the .com era. Also, the output is 1.2 volts at 4 times 250 milliamp max. So we're going to test that. Battery charging rate is at or greater than 80% when it's charged. That we're definitely going to test. And that's about it. Let's just take a look and see what it's pumping out here on my multimeter. I'm going to turn on the charger. Okay, let's see what we're getting at the leads here. Okay, that's about 2.4 volts. Here, let's go to a finer. .63 volts pumping out for charging. And the amps. Let's go to the amps. It'll automatically shut off if there's no batteries put in it. So we're getting about 230 milliamp or 0.23 amp. So yeah, it's doing the 250 that it's supposed to, because these leads are going to have some sort of loss to them. All right, let's go to the tests. Okay, here's the first results of the first batch of the EBL AAA 1100 milliamp hour batteries. I'm just going to light up the screen for you so you can take a look. Those are the milliamps. All over 1,000, which is not too bad considering it's rated at 1100, and they're obviously going to be a little optimistic. All right, so that's the first batch. Batch 1 is completed using the EBL charger, and it's as I suspected. That little cheapo EBL charger is actually not charging them fully. This is at least 30% down. We were getting over 1,000 milliamps on each of the cells, and these are in the 700s. So, well, it's a cheap charger that came with the batteries, so what can you do? All right, on to batch 2. Okay, here's the EBL 1100's batch 2 test. Now these haven't had as many discharge and charge cycles, so they're a little bit lower, but as you can see, they're all over 1,000. If I put on the light here, you can see. And so we'll go on with the EBL from the batch 2 and see how that does. All right. Okay, here's batch 2 with the EBL charger. What I did this time is instead of just taking it off as soon as it was green, I actually left it on the charger a little bit longer, which seemed to have helped because we're getting about 800 now instead of around 700. So I guess if you leave it on the charger for another half an hour or 45 minutes or whatever I did when it turns green, it actually does seem to help the charge a little bit, but it's still way down from the Opus charger, which is like a true Delta V smart charger. Anyway, there you go. Okay, this is just a short, quick video on the power of actually conditioning the batteries. I took the 4 worst ones that I had, and I started conditioning the batteries, which means you discharge them, and then charge them up and discharge them. You just go through a bunch of cycles. And as you can see, these were the worst batteries. This guy got 1160 milliamps out of a rated 1100. Even the worst one got 1088. Now, as a treat, I was able to borrow these, which I bought for Christmas for someone. So I'm going to try a couple of these AA's and see what I can get out of them. I'm kind of skeptical of the 2800 milliamp, but if I can get around 2500, that's what an Eneloop gets for a third of the cost, then it's worth it. So we'll just look for that coming up. But as you can see, if you condition the batteries, these were the worst ones. They were getting all low 1000s, and now they're very close or over the 1100 rated milliamp rating. All right. Bye. Okay, this is an update on the AA's that I borrowed from a friend. They're not getting that great of numbers, as you can see here. We got 2378 milliamp hours out of a 2800 rated battery. The other one got 2459. Now this is a sample of 2, so I don't know if these 2 batteries are bad or not, but from what I can gather on the internet, you're going to get around 2500 milliamp hours out of it. So why they would advertise it as 2800 is kind of crazy. I would advertise it as 2600 because I have been noticing as I go through charge cycles, I'm getting slightly higher results. And I haven't had these batteries that long, so I haven't been able to put through many charge cycles to condition them. So very well possible they might get at least 26. That seems reasonable, or just under it. So why not market it as 2600? Like, you don't have to lie. That's still a very high capacity battery. Even these ones are fine. All right. Okay, let's do a comparison from what the EBL comes out when it's fully charged, the batteries. Let's see what it charges up to compared to my Opus over here, which is a real true Delta V smart charger. Okay, the bottom one is the Opus. So we're getting about 1453 milliamps when it comes off the charger. And the EBL, we're getting about 1397 or so. So obviously the EBL is not fully charging the batteries up to its full capacity. It's pretty close, but it's not charging as efficient as the Opus here. Okay, so we finished all our tests. Let's take a look at what we got here. Okay, so for 22 bucks and an extra $5, I get this charger. So let's start on this charger. The charger actually itself is pretty nice. However, it doesn't give you a full charge when the lights turn green. As we found out during the tests, I left it in there for an extra half an hour while the light was still green, just to see if I could get a little bit more, because it trickle charges after 1.4 volts, and I was able to get some more juice out of it. So for this, if you do get the optional charger, because this is great for camping, because I'd much rather lose the $5 charger than the $60 one. So this is a good as an emergency charger. It's very small. You can fit it in your pocket, no problem. What I would do is when the lights turn green, just leave it in the charger for a little bit longer, maybe another hour or something like that, just to see if you can get a little bit more charge out of it. Because to be honest, it's not great, but it does the job and it does what it says in the manual, which is 80% and up. So if you leave it in there for a little bit longer, you'll probably get some extra charge out of it. What I would recommend is actually getting something like this, which is an Opus BT-C3100. It was 60 bucks Canadian. This thing's awesome. This thing totally charges up. It can even do lithium iron phosphate batteries because there's a switch inside where you can set the terminal voltage. So I set the terminal voltage to 3.7, which is a lithium iron phosphate battery at full charge. Charges it up, no problem. Now the problem is these SoShine lithium iron phosphate batteries, they're rated at 280. That's a total lie. It's more like 180 max. I'm getting between 160 and 180 milliamp, per charge. If you look at them, look how small they are compared to the EBL batteries. These are nickel metal hydride. Let me just show you as a comparison. See, look how thin they are compared to this. Like, this is a monster compared to this one. So I have a feeling if they made these 280s the same size as the EBLs, you'd probably get 280 out of it. But I've ordered some other crazy Chinese lithium iron phosphate batteries. So if I get any more than 180 out of them, I'll let you guys know. Now, as far as the nickel metal 1100s from EBLs, these things are awesome. Like, they react very, very well to conditioning, which is a bunch of charge and discharge cycles. So, you should do at least 5. I would say 10 charge and discharge cycles before, they're getting sort of in conditioning. Because I took the 4 worst batteries that I had, which were just over 1,000 milliamps, about 1,020, something like that. And I was able to get them almost up to the 1100 mark, and in some cases it went actually past the 1100 mark. I got 1160 out of the top one, which ironically was the worst one out of the whole 8 lot that I have. So these batteries are awesome for sure. The 1100s, they're great. They work well. They have a really good charge discharge cycle. You can't go wrong with the AAAs. Now the AA's are sort of a different story. They are actually good, but there's no hope in hell they're 2800. I was getting from 2450 to 2550. Now I have a sample of 2, and they aren't that conditioned very well. These EBLs seem to respond very well to conditioning. So what I would recommend is have these run through like at least 10 charge and discharge cycles. On my Opus, it actually has a battery refresh function where it charges and discharges 3 times. So you go through that a few times, and this may get up to 2,500, 2,600. These used to be marketed as 2,600s. So what I would do if I were EBL is still market 2,600. That's still very good. That's like Eneloop territory. Even the 2,550 that I was able to get out of this one is, still getting up there, still high capacity. Because here's the thing. If I go buy these, I don't know any better. I'm just like, 2,800 milliamp. And then I stick it in my Opus without conditioning, and I'm getting 2,600 or something like that. I'm going to be like, wow, these EBLs must be really crap. I better get something else. When in fact, the 1100s, which are properly marked, are awesome batteries. Even these are awesome batteries. It has the same nice charge and discharge cycle. It just don't lie. How many batteries are you going to sell if you keep telling people that your batteries can do something or can't do something? If you market this as, say, 2,500 and people are regularly getting over 2,500, they're going to be, this EBL battery must be the best in the universe. It's giving me more than what it's rated at. You see what I mean? All right, well, I'll give you an update. I'm going to take this charger because I bought an 8-pack of these EBL AA's for a friend who's disabled, and she can't really, go out and buy batteries and stuff. So I bought her this charger for her, basically, because I got this one. And I bought her an 8-pack of these batteries so she could run all her little remotes and all, she has a bunch of crap that she needs to run double A's on. So I bought this for her. I'm going to go and I'll give you an update to see what the other batteries do, just in case. Maybe these are 2 lemons and the rest do 2800. I don't know, but I'm going to have at least 8 batteries to sample from. Okay, thank you. Bye.